Before we begin, take a slow breath. For the next few minutes, let the world slow down. You don't need to solve every problem today. You don't need to have your future figured out. This is simply a moment to pause, to reflect, and perhaps see life through a different lens. Because sometimes one simple story can quietly change the way we see ourselves. Welcome to Inner Rise. Today's story begins with a word we hear almost every day. Success, but what if we've misunderstood it all along? When you hear the word success, what comes to mind? A big house? A luxury car? A corner office? A growing bank account? Most of us learn from an early age that success is something we earn, something we chase, something waiting for us somewhere in the future. But I once heard a simple story that changed the way I think about it. There were two neighbors who had known each other for many years. Every morning, they left for work at the same time. One of them dreamed of becoming wealthy. He worked long hours, accepted every promotion, bought a larger house, a nicer car. Each year, he seemed more successful than the last. The other neighbor lived more quietly. He wasn't rich. He worked enough to provide for his family. In the evenings, he sat on the porch with his children. On weekends, he helped his elderly parents. Sometimes, he planted flowers in his small garden. His life looked ordinary. Years passed. One day, both men retired. The first man finally had everything he'd spent his life chasing: money, status, a beautiful home. But when he looked around, the house felt strangely quiet. His children rarely visited. Old friendships had faded. He had achieved every goal on his list, yet something was missing. Across the street, the second man was also growing older. His house was still small. The furniture was old, but every weekend, laughter filled his home. Neighbors stopped by for coffee. His grandchildren played in the garden. People often asked him for advice, not because he was famous, but because he had become someone they trusted. One afternoon, the first man walked across the street. As they sat together watching the sunset, he quietly asked, "Do you ever wish you had more?" The old man smiled. "I used to. But somewhere along the way, I realized I wasn't building a successful life. I was trying to build a meaningful one." That sentence stayed with me. Because maybe that's the difference. Success can fill your calendar, it can fill your wallet, it can even fill your house. But only a meaningful life can fill your heart. We spend so much time asking, what do I want to achieve? Maybe we should also ask, who do I want to become? Because one day, people won't remember how many hours you worked. They'll remember how you made them feel. They won't remember what car you drove. They'll remember whether you were kind, whether you listened, whether you were present. Think about the people who have changed your life. Maybe it was a teacher, a grandparent, a friend. Chances are you don't remember them because they were successful. You remember them because of the person they were, their patience, their generosity, their encouragement. That's a different kind of success. And perhaps it's the one that lasts the longest. That doesn't mean ambition is wrong. Dream big, work hard, build something you're proud of. But don't lose yourself while chasing what the world tells you matters. Because if success costs you your peace, your health, your relationships, or your kindness, was it really success? Maybe the richest person isn't the one with the biggest bank account. Maybe it's the person who goes to bed knowing they loved well, lived honestly, and became someone they're proud to see in the mirror. perhaps that's the kind of success worth chasing. So if you've been measuring your life by titles, paychecks, or achievements, maybe it's time to ask a different question. Instead of asking, how successful am I? Ask, who am I becoming? Because in the end, success isn't the life people admire from the outside. It's the life that brings peace when no one is watching. Remember this. Real success isn't measured by what you've collected. It's measured by the person you become along the way. Thank you for spending these moments with Inner Rise. If today's story spoke to you, carry its lesson into tomorrow. Remember, the greatest transformation always begins within. Until our next story, keep rising